I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, thanks for coming, everybody. I'm enjoying the balmy weather we've been having the past day. Roll call, please.
John DeBoyer.
Here.
Maureen Bory. Here. Mark Bouchard.
Here.
Artie Bryson.
Here.
Christy Hilton. Here. Chris O'Regan.
Here.
Cindy Valentine here.
Okay, next thing on the agenda, we have bills payable. Entertain a motion.
Board, I'd like to make a motion to approve bills payable in the amount of $144,813.69.
Support. Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion?
Can I just ask about the clothing allowance from Scoreboard and More office attire for our ZEPA, building and grounds? Is that like, was that a uniform or something? Who was that? What?
It's office staff.
Oh, he has a clothing allowance?
Yes.
She does, okay. All right, so I just didn't know. Okay. What is their clothing allowance? If that's $100, should they get like $1,500 like you guys do?
No. We don't. We don't either. It's 150, I
Oh,
believe.
150?
Yep.
Is that what she gets too, or is everybody getting 150? Just wanted to know. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Maureen Bory.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Christy Hilton.
Yes.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. John DeBoyer.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Next is our supervisor's report. Busy, lots of good stuff going on. The State House of Representatives will be passing a bill. It's actually recognizing February 15th as Angelman Syndrome Awareness Day. And Clay Township owned LJ will be there in Lansing for it, and also their family is going to get and some friends are going to get a tour of the whole Capitol while they're there. They're going to pass it February 14th. And remember, he came here, him and his family, and we passed a resolution and sent it up to actually the county, and the Senate's going to pass one too, I believe, in the state. So that's exciting for them. They're really fired up about it. They live on Anchor Bay Drive. And also I've been working with Senator Hertel. He's dropping a bill this week on the Senate floor to allow us to form a second DDA district, and that would be in the Sans Souci downtown area. So that would, once this passed, we'll be able to get a second DDA. And that would help Sans Souci out quite a bit. Clay did host a meeting with the Coast Guard, U.S. Coast Guard, about their plan to respond in our areas, seeing that the St. Clair Shores Station will be closing. About 40 representatives were here from several different agencies, the Coast Guard, Border Patrol, DNR, Michigan State Police, Macomb County, St. Clair County, sheriffs, fire departments and stuff. And so they basically told us how they're going to be responding in emergencies in our area. They're going to be relying more heavily on local agencies to pick up some slack. They basically said they're going to come to every call, but they may not be underway for 30 minutes after the call, and the response time is 2 hours. Reason they're closing is not budget or anything else, it's manpower issues that they have. So, Clay Township did host a small business town hall along with Elginak and Senator Hertel and the Anchor Bay Chambers of Commerce here last Monday. It was well attended with lots of valuable information. We do have a lot of building and blight issues going on. We're actually taking one property owner to court that owns 6 properties that are blighted or dangerous structures in the township. We're combining them all into one court, or one case. I did spend 2 days in Lansing a couple weeks ago. It was along with the MTA, Michigan Township Association, met with several legislators, representatives, and representatives from Eagle, DNR, and other agencies. We got a lot done. That's why we got stuff going on at the state in my report. Requesting funding for $250,000 to buy a marsh master from the state for making fire breaks, cutting under utility wires, and basic control of Phragmites, St. John's Marsh, and other spots on Harsens Island and Elginak State Park. The DNR, along with other agencies, are very much supportive of this. As you recall, we passed a resolution saying that, to the state, they have to start controlling frags on their own property. And that got a hold of the DNR, and they're putting together a plan, and part of that plan would be us owning a marsh master to help them cut and control these. And so henceforth, I'm asking them to buy us one. I've gotten a lot of support letters from all the conservation agencies that I can think of, and so hopefully it will come through. And we are also applying for our Eagle permit for the wetland mitigations for the Harsens Island treatment plant. And that should be handed over to the Eagle, I'm hoping, in about a week, and hopefully that will go through real smooth. Met with the county road commission. Our meeting, we have a meeting with the County Road Commission. They do an annual meeting for all townships. It'll be February 28th if anybody wants to go. It will be from 3:30 to 5, and they go over projects, funding, how they get their funding and their costs. So if anyone is interested from the board from attending, let me know.
Is that a road trip, Artie, or?
No, it's just not the road trip.
So where's that at?
It's at the County Road Commission up at Airport Drive. Received news from Senator Hertel that the director of Eagle will be spending a day in Clay Township this spring sometime. He wants to visit 4 or 5 sites that we've told them that we're questioning on how Eagle's handling them, and also he's interested on the algae plant that for the water treatment plant, and we want to do the Harsens Island Nature Park. We received our Eagle permit, a lot of Eagle stuff, for replacing the Bluebill Road Bridge. And on that bridge, they're doing the engineering, well, they have the engineering done, but we don't have the exact cost yet. But it's going to be approximately $800,000 to replace that bridge. And after the federal, state, and county grants that we got, Clay Township's responsibility is probably going to be around $2,000. If we didn't get those grants, it would come up totally out of our general fund, and we wouldn't be able to afford it. So, and thank you for the Road Commission in helping us get those grants. They're instrumental in that. And a couple of changes in the, we did have, start over. After a couple changes in scope orders on the pickleball courts, we're about $8,500 under budget. We finalized that this past couple of weeks ago, and we did add a geotextile fabric between the sand and the rocks layers of the foundation, and we did change how the fencing went in, and some of the cement work around it. So it netted out, we're $8,500 under budget. The presidential primary is going to be held February 27th. Early voting starts February 17th through the 25th. here from 8 in the morning to 4. And over on the Harsens Island, there's also a millage proposal that will be questioned. That's all we have on our ballots. The presidential primary, and on the island, the millage question. Clay Days with American Indian Powwow will be held May 11th, starting at noon in the park. Our Sans Souci Block Party will be May 18th, starting at 5 p.m. in downtown Sans Souci. And we have 3 really good bands booked. And the 10th annual North Channel Sturgeon Classic Tournament is scheduled for Saturday, October 12th. They're changing it around a little bit. Instead of a night fish, they're going to, it's going to be a daylight event and start from 7 a.m. Or 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So, and then they moved it a little later in the year. And Sturgeons for Tomorrow does that for us. So that's all I have. Okay, now we have public comments. Do I have any public comments? Come on up and state your name and address, please.
I'm Paul Cassidy, 4685 Green Drive, Harsens Island, of course you know that. The only reason I came here today was to respond to what I thought this board did to Skip Torno, which I thought was deplorable. It was just terrible. HITA is a governmental entity entitled to some deference. And if you were concerned about HITA's budget or the legality of this primary or this millage election, you could have extended HITA the courtesy of communicating that to them and saying, hey, we have this issue. We think we should talk about it. But you don't extend that kind of courtesy when your true intent is to ambush HITA and Skip and anybody that spoke for HITA, to hold them up to public criticism, to make them look incompetent. You having not offered HITA that courtesy, I will not offer it to you either. First off, Mr. Bryson, you made a comment. You know, I've had 2 or 3 attorneys contact me because they can't get HITA's budget. I understand the number 2 and 3 are very hard numbers, and you might not remember whether it was 2 or 3. But rather than anguish over that in the future, why not just tell them, talk to HITA? And if they don't get the response they want, they know they have a legal remedy. But when your intention is to ambush, and your intention is to criticize HITA and its members, you don't do that. And this clerk over here, who I think is, her arrogance exceeds only her incompetence. She sat there and said, you know, you haven't even put this millage vote out properly. You gotta hold a public hearing before you do that. I'm not gonna call you a liar or stupid, I'm just gonna say that's a figment of your imagination. And you got up there and said, oh, we put an attorney on your board and I apologize for that. Well, lady, don't ever apologize for me, especially when I'm right and you're wrong. You have no idea what you're talking about. You certainly can't properly administer the election law because you don't understand it. You know, I don't practice election law. I don't practice municipal law. I'm a prosecutor in Wayne County. I'm assigned to the homicide unit. That's what I do every day. I prosecute people for murder. But I can read the election law and I understand it. And so I'm here to tell you the election law as it is in the state of Michigan. Not the election law that Mr. Bryson thinks it is or Miss Valentine thinks it is. Artie got up here and said, hey, Skip, you don't hold a millage vote at a primary. Not everybody votes at a primary. And the clerk chirps in, you haven't put on had a public hearing. There's no legal requirement for a public hearing on this millage. So you're absolutely wrong on that. And you and Mr. Bryson must have been drooling all over yourselves when you read Public Act 196, and it says you can have a millage at a general or special election. And this is not a general election, this is a presidential primary. You stopped your analysis too early. You should have quit wringing your hands and looked at the election law. Because I'm here to tell you what it is, at least the election law in the state of Michigan. And I'm going to read it to you.
Mr. Cassidy, your 3 minutes is up. Can you wrap it up, please?
I will.
Al
I will.
Sikorsky, I concede my 3 minutes to Mr. Cassidy.
Here's what the Michigan election law says. A special election shall be held on a regular election date, MCL 124.468. And it goes further, and I'm going to say this slowly so that our clerk, it will register in your mind. Here's what else it
The
says.
personal attacks. Get
It
to the
is a
point.
personal attack, the same person that personally attacked
So,
me.
just-
So let me
just
respond,
Just
Mr.
stick to
Bryson.
your point, please.
The election law specifically says that a presidential primary is a regular election date. That's the Michigan law. Now, everybody that thinks that this ballot proposal for a millage is legally on the ballot, raise your hand. How about the public? They are more qualified than this board. They at least know the law. You refuse to acknowledge it. Well, I've seen this board pass other resolutions that are completely unlawful. I've seen you do it. I've seen this board pass resolutions that individually benefit certain people on this board, people that don't abstain from voting when it personally benefits them. So, as I understand it, you're going to appoint a couple malcontents to the HITA board who have expressed their position that they're only interested in themselves. Well, I'm not gobsmacked by that, believe me. But I will tell you this, it's a perfect appointment. They mirror this board. People that don't follow the law and people that vote in their own special interest. I think this board is Bush League, and I think you got a couple bushwhackers on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more public comments?
Can I ask questions?
Up here, yeah. How are you, Judy?
My name is Judith Campbell, 6052 St. Pierre Drive. And I have one question for clarification, and I guess the other is a question. I did not receive a date of when the opt-out was going to be readdressed again, and you said you'd give that to me.
Yeah, I don't have it yet.
Well, I just don't want to fall through
No.
the cracks.
Right.
Because I've told other people that are interested and want to speak to that issue that I would let them know
Okay.
when it was going to be on the agenda. And the other is for clarification, my own understanding that opt-out on the emergency response issues was voted to opt out for the island with certain reasons, I'm sure, but not opt out for the mainland.
Mm-hmm.
So it split the county on those services, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that was just my, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Any other public comments?
Hi, Dennis Szymanski, Middle Channel, 5194 Middle Channel. I'd like to start off, Artie, your condolences to the loss of David.
Thank you.
I don't know if anybody knows, but Artie lost his brother last week. You know, it's not enough to be here for a beat-up Artie day here, but, you know, a couple things which is quite evident from day one, 10 years ago, that the intent has always been to be obstruction and to be in the way and try and debunk HITA from right out of the gate. I mean, the first letter you wrote, as soon as you became supervisor to McNair, didn't even have approval for the board, and he did address that. It's like a 10-page response, which didn't look very good. But you know, and all the things that have been said, all the things that we've uncovered, and all the things that have been presented in defense to HITA and against, or referring to your obstruction and different things that happened with Champion Ferry, there's no one that has came back and said it's a lie. All we hear is we're picking on Champion, we're picking on Artie, but no one said it's a lie. And going back to the millage question, is actually millage proposal, asking a yes or no statement. Finally, this is kind of just, you know, I was reading all these, what's all over there, stuff for the last, I don't know, the 5 years that I've been a HITA member, and just seeing all the things that, and being there, especially different meetings that you've said, and he's doing this, but it reminds me of somebody that said something back in November 17th of 1973. As I stand before you, and I'm having a flashback on this, quote, "I have earned every cent in all my years in public life. I have never obstructed justice. I am not a crook." And if you know what happened within the next year, Richard M. Dixon. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Okay, hearing none. Move along to the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the meeting minutes of 1:15 of '24. A request from Treasurer Hilton for MMTA training 279 plus lodging and check reports.
Support.
Okay, motion and support. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, was that a misspeak? I
Yeah,
think it's 379 or 279.
Oh,
Can you do that in motion?
Yes, 379.
Yeah, support. 379? Yes.
Anything else?
Well, it includes the payroll, so you know, I can't vote for that because it includes all this additional duty money, which I am vehemently against. And hopefully it doesn't show up this evening, you know, what I suspect is sticking together with the votes on by getting your additional duty money, so.
All right, all in favor of the consent
I have
agenda?
one thing.
Oh,
On the project control engineering at San Souci Water Treatment Plant.
Yep.
To the 10,985. Is that combined with something else? I don't remember that figure coming up from the board.
I think we did do some approval for that. Can you?
Are you moving that
Check number
over?
it is.
Are you moving that over to the grant money? Because we spent all that money?
Yeah.
Is that what,
Yeah.
maybe that's what it's about, huh?
You know what check number it is?
What check number is it?
38,255.
38,255.
So that is engineering fees for the LG at 4135.
It's probably, it's concerning getting the Eagle permit for wetland mitigation.
Yeah, I know what it's for. Just,
That is Playscape Spark Grant
Oh.
documents for the Parks and Rec.
So the Spark grant too, which we approved.
And it is engineering fees for the intercept lining design for the sewer fund.
okay, so it's all rolled into one.
Yeah.
If it's paid in between meetings from project control, it's probably their monthly statement, and that's all approved purchases.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, all in favor of the consent agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay, motion carries. Next, we have fire report. Chief?
Good evening.
Hi.
Chief's report for January of 2024. During the month of January, I attended 5 meetings for the month. St. Clair Flats Association, Harsens Island Transportation Authority, St. Clair County Chiefs Association, Tri-EMS, and the U.S. Coast Guard Sector Detroit, where general business was discussed. The fire department will be doing a AFG grant this year. We're going to submit for portable radios. We're also going in with Marine City, and I believe Algonac, St. Clair, and IRA for bunker gear. So we'll be going in on a regional grant with them. To add to Artie's about the Coast Guard station closing and St. Clair Shores, they're still going to do some light patrols out of there, and it'll be anything major, they'll have to get it from Port Huron Station or the Detroit Station. They did move the lines for the Port Huron Station to the middle of Anchor Bay, and then from that point down to Toledo, the Detroit Station will cover that. And they have a 2-hour response time if there's any major search and rescues out on the water. So we'll probably be working closer with them in the future. Fire department went around the township here on the mainland and on the island and checked for some the missing road signs. This was compiled and forwarded to the clerk. Airboat 1 is now on the mainland for the winter months. All vehicles are in service, and then some parts were ordered for Tango 3's water pump. Fire department training for the month. Fire Rescue 1 Academy training was 16 hours, medical training was 15 hours, and department crew training was 24 hours.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, rolling into new business. First, we have Pearl Beach Lions charitable gaming license that we have to approve. I remember doing this one other time for them. Is this a yearly thing, or? I didn't think so. But it's before us, and so for them to do, I assume bingo and some other things, we have to pass it. All right?
I think they change their processes at the state every few years.
Laura?
They're not registered, so they
Right.
have to, we've got a few of them, obviously.
Yeah.
So apart from doing a raffle permit with the state, they do this and they don't need a raffle permit?
No, they need this to be able to obtain a permit for any
Okay,
fundraiser.
all right. I misunderstood you then, thank you.
So does this have an expiration date?
No, it just registers them as a nonprofit with the state.
Okay.
So this is the first time
Aren't
you're
they
registered?
I think they're required to file that annually.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't think this carries over. I believe this is a...
I know we passed it before.
Yeah, usually it's accompanied with like a list of things that they want to do.
Yeah.
I don't have that list this time.
Yeah, the next thing talks about raffle, but this,
Yep.
they're not really saying what it's for.
So,
Probably bingo.
yep.
It's not for that bingo, it's charities, Pearl Beach charities, that we just initiated a 501c3.
Oh, good. Okay.
And that's what that is for.
Charity dinners and all that kind of thing?
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Right.
All right, well, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the local governing body resolution for charitable gaming licenses for the Pearl Beach Lions charities of Clay Township.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got motion and second. Any more discussion? It is a resolution, so we'll have to do a roll call. Roll call.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Christy Hiltonen.
Yes.
Krista Regan.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. John DeBoyer.
Yes.
Maureen Gordon.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next we have the Museum of Off-Road Adventures charitable gaming license. I'll entertain a motion.
Board, I'll make a motion to approve the Museum of Off-Road Adventure charitable gaming license 2024-04 Museum of Off-Road Adventure and charitable gaming.
Support.
Yeah, motion and support. I wasn't even aware that we had this out there, but yeah, it's a museum. They got a website and everything, so. Is this a resolution or it's just?
Who supported this?
This is a resolution.
Yeah.
The same as the other one. Did anyone support this?
John?
did, yeah.
John, yeah. All right, no more discussion, roll call.
Christy Hiltonen.
Yes.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. John DeBoyer.
Yes.
Maureen Bory.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Is anyone here from Pearl Beach or from the,
Yeah, Pearl Beach is here.
you can come up and take this if you want.
All right. Next is for assessing St. Clair County assessing is an agreement for county provide services and resources. This is for our, when we go on for using satellite pictures and maps. And it would be, I talked to both Sherry and our building department. We'd split this between both building and department and assessing. But it comes into, it's going to be 3 times as good as the satellite pictures we get today from the county. And that would be a huge help for both Sherry and our building department. We did check on, Semco kind of offers the same things, and they're around, I think, 6,000 or 7,000 a year. They do offer a few more flyovers, but I think this would satisfy our needs, and it would be an improvement. So, and it costs $1,000 annually.
This is a contract for the term of 6 years.
Yes, 6 years. If anyone have any questions, I'm sure Sherry could answer them.
That seems like a pretty good bargain.
Yeah, it is. We were happy.
Do we need to go for a full 6 years to see, like, when we use it?
Well, they
first
have
see-
to.
Oh,
They need a commitment from us. We could pay the Semco for 1 year for $7,000, or we could pay $6,000 for 6 years.
We've been going along without it up to now, so I'm just wondering to see if we could.
They haven't offered it up until now, and in lieu of that, they're adding copies of all the maps, which I believe I had a discussion with Sherry, and we spend easily well over $1,000 annually purchasing maps from the county.
Well, that's gonna save us, okay, great.
Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the assessing agreement for county provided services and resources.
Support. Okay, motion support. Any more discussion?
It's in the budget because you're taking it from 2, so it's already in the budget.
Mhm.
Okay.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, I wanted to set some ARPA workshop dates. I wanted to do it a little earlier, but we still haven't heard anything from the county. So they did hire a consultant to help them, and I set them a bunch of potential projects that we have at Clay, but I haven't received anything from them, so I think we should just go ahead and set ours and take it from there. Get a calendar here. Offline. How, I mean,
Take the year report off.
Yeah.
Year report off.
I'm gonna have to. What,
What are the parameters, Mr. Bryson? Are we talking about
an hour and a half, 2, yeah.
2, 3 meetings?
One meeting. What I want to do, and I put together, we have 850,000.
Okay.
We have to commit it by the end of this year and spend it by the end of next year. I put together a bunch of different projects that would qualify. Probably totals up about 1.5 million. So I thought we would do, sit down, have everyone prioritize what they feel is highest priority to lowest priority, and then, quantify it with numbers, and then figure out the numbers and figure out, what the priorities are, what the board comes up with. Because if we don't spend it, we send it back too. So I want to spend as much of it as we can and get the best bang for our buck. So basically, I think we just get together and set our priorities and then add them up and figure out where the board sits. If that process seems good to everybody.
We're gonna have a list of
Yeah.
priorities.
Yeah, I sent one out, but it's changed quite a bit. We got public safety projects, infrastructure projects, and outdoor activity projects. That was the three big things that ARPA wanted to do with this money.
The middle of March, give us time to get some more feedback from the county.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're gonna have a list of what we can't spend it on.
Well, certain road projects, you can't spend it on, I know, like pension, which we don't have that problem, and some others. There is a list. They're for clean water projects, things like that.
I'm not available the middle of that.
What's that?
I'm just not available the middle of that month, I'm gone, but I'm available the week of the 11th or the week of the 25th.
What month are you talking about?
March? Just trying to
I'm offline.
spitball potential dates.
What month?
Week of the 11th is fine for me.
No.
Me too.
The week of the 11th works, Maureen? John? Yep.
Oh,
Mark, the week of the 11th?
doesn't work for me.
Week of the 11th is fine.
You want to do the 25th instead, Artie? Is that bad for you?
That's bad for me.
Yeah.
So are we into April?
I don't have my, I'm not getting my feed from my calendar for some reason. I can't remember.
If we were to send out an email,
Yeah, let's-
some ideas, would that be a violation?
No, that's not.
Why don't we do that?
Why, yeah, I might be able to do it the 14th.
Of March?
Yes. My memory serves. So if you want to do tentatively, let's set it for March 14th, 2 o'clock?
If I'm taking care of my grandson, I gotta leave by 2, so can we like
Noon?
do noon? Yeah,
Noon?
noon's good.
Okay, let's just pencil that in, I'll verify it. Okay?
Okay.
Good with that? Okay,
Noon to 2 at the latest, right?
yeah. All right, moving right along, we have our resolution, it's not 23, it'd be 2402
My bad, sorry.
for opting out of the 80/20. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-02 to opt out of Public Act 152, Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contribution Act.
Support.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any discussion?
We do this every year?
Yep. Last 8.
Well,
I don't remember.
I mean, there's a reason they put this Public Act 152 in place. And this, I mean, people on this board already pay less than 6% of their insurance and none of their deductible, so, they put this in place for a reason, so
They
the
put it,
government would have to pay 20% of their insurance, but we just opt out of it, so you guys don't have to pay it, and then you get to vote on it, and that's affecting your own health insurance, right? Am I right on that?
they put it in place, and they also put in an opt-out option for locals. which I would estimate about 90% of the local governments do opt out of it. And there's reasons for it. And if I give you my take, we're in competition with our employees with other agencies. County, in fact, we just lost 2 policemen to county sheriff. And other private companies such, for like our water department. And the county, you were there at a meeting, what do they pay, co-pay? 0, right? Yes, they do. We do have a co-pay, but it's not 0. But the county has a 0 co-pay. But other companies that were in, like our water department, I don't know what would pay our operators and equipment, probably about $28 an hour. And Cordis and ML Chartier and these other companies, they're paying close to $50 an hour. So they can pay the 20%. And the reason they work here is because they have good benefits, less pay, good benefits, but security. And now you want to take that away from them? If we don't pass this, we're going to be breaking 5 collective bargaining agreements, which we'd have 5 disputes, and we'd lose them. And so the only remedy for that would be we pay them extra salary to cover their 20% health insurance costs that we would have to give them. And that would cost the township more because we would also have to pay more payroll tax and their payroll tax, their tax too. And along that, there's more retirement and other benefits with the increase.
Well, somewhere we've got to start negotiating the union contracts different.
Well, let me get to that. In the past few years, we got rid of all our legacy expenses. We got rid of our defined benefit.
Didn't you just bond them? What do you mean you got rid of them?
We got rid of the defined benefits. We don't do defined benefits anymore.
Explain what that is. Define.
Instead of a defined contribution, which we now have, we got rid of defined benefits.
Defined benefit is a pension.
Okay.
Defined contribution is a 401.
Yes.
And in government's a 457.
Got it.
Yeah. And we also got rid of all the retirement medical, so we don't pay medical once they retire. And I mean, it took some negotiating to get rid of all that. We got rid of all our legacy costs.
So we're not giving pensions out anymore?
No, we are. Well, not defined benefit. We're doing defined contributions.
So you're contributing to the 401k, but you're not giving a pension?
It's a defined,
That's correct.
yes, yeah, that's correct.
So when they quit working, we no longer give them any money? Because we gave them money while we were giving them in the 401k while they were working?
Yes. So we got rid of all our legacy costs. And believe me, there was a lot.
And that's for what employees? Because I mean, I'm sure the police chief
All
still
of
gets his pension and fire chief still gets his
Any
pension.
new hires,
So we still have a lot of legacy from the people who were here.
well, you still got,
When did that begin? New hires after this year?
some of them were quite a while ago, but we've been working on it the last 5-6 years, I don't know. So we did get rid of all of our legacy costs. And quite frankly, Maureen, if we didn't vote for this, we'd probably lose 10, 15 employees.
Okay.
I'm just guessing, but we would. So,
How long has the township been opting out?
since it started, I think 8, 9 years ago,
8 years?
yeah. So any other questions before I call a vote or discussion?
I know the legacy costs were quite expensive over the period. I remember taking a look at it when I first came in 8 years ago, and it was quite significant, so having it reduced,
Yeah.
it's more user-friendly. Thank you.
Well, we still have probably a majority of our employees on the legacy, but the new hires, there's, just the new hires.
All right, any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Cindy Valentine, yes. Chris O'Regan,
Yes.
Christy Hiltonen,
Yes.
Artie Bryson,
Yes.
Mark Bouchard,
Yes.
Maureen Bory,
Yep.
John DeBoyer.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. All right, next we have, and this comes up every 5 years, and I hate it. We have to do our MS4 discharge permit, and Project Control's given us a quote for $7,700. It's pretty comparable what it was 5 years ago, and it is a lot of work for them to do this. John, you used to be involved in that.
Yeah, it's a pain in the neck.
And the first time I saw this, I contested to even doing it. And the law states that if you're a large complex, a hospital, or a prison, you have to do this permit. But if you're an individual building, you're not required to. So I went about a year and a half, and they were yelling at us, and they basically said that, we're going to take you to court. DNR actually had a meeting, and they said that we are a complex. So, and it's all about, what do we have, about 7 or 8 catch basins? And that's why we have to do this.
Wow.
And it's extortion because we get a permit and all this water dumps into the county ditch, and the county gets a permit. So, but our hands are tied. I took it to the limit, say about 8-9 years ago. So anyhow, I'll entertain a motion.
Is that on the budget?
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to have to look at it. I can't remember. I'm not sure if I caught that or not.
Or I'll make a motion to approve the PCE permit charge of $7,700 for the Eagle MS4 discharge permit.
Support.
Okay, motion and support. Any discussion?
Line item TBD?
I'm thinking, because some's in the fire department, some's in the water department, some's here, we're going to probably have to split it up, don't you think?
Should be,
Should be.
for sure.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so we'll have to split it up 3 or 4 ways, so, yeah, to be determined.
It's going to expire in October. It works from 7/29/2020 and go into October, it says.
Yeah,
So we're going to have to pay again probably in October.
well, every year we have to do one permit, and it's more just reporting, but every 5 years we have to do the more extended permit.
Okay.
Do we have motion?
And support.
Okay. Okay, all in favor of the PCE quote for the MS4 discharge permit? In favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Right, next we have a ZBA appointment. Sherry Chappella, is that right, Sherry?
Filia. Filia.
Yes, that. And I've been talking to Sherry through email back and forth, and she's very motivated, and she grew up here, moved away, came back, and she wants to get involved in serving our community, and I thank her so much for that, and she showed willingness to get training when it gets involved, or when it becomes available, and seemed really motivated. I did have some other interests, but one person dropped out because the kids at home, and the other guy just didn't get back to me. And actually, I just got an email today. Someone was interested, but we may have a opening in the planning commission, and he told me basically keep my name on file, and if one or another come up, that he'd be willing to serve on that too. So I would like to appoint Sherry as an alternate on our ZBA board.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Support.
Support. Any discussion? There's Sherry in the back. You can stand up. Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
We won't embarrass you. So,
Who's leaving on the planning commission?
nobody's, we have a vacancy on, for a second alternate. Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor of appointing Sherry to the ZBA signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Sherry. I'll give your contact information to the building department and the clerk. You're gonna have to come in and get sworn in at some point in time,
Okay.
whenever is convenient.
All right, thank
So,
you.
all right, thank you. Thank you, actually, yeah. All right. Next we have fire airway training mannequins for $4,252. Line item 960. These are addition, not replacing. Are they, Chief?
We are replacing
Are
one
they?
that we have. We have an adult mannequin, the lungs don't work anymore, and it's used quite a bit, and it's worn out, so it's quite old. And we don't have an infant or a child, and we need one of those.
Yes, we do.
It keeps the guys proficient in airway management and inserting a king tube, also a nasal and oral pharyngeal airways. And they will do CPR, so it'll give us 2 more CPR mannequins too.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the $4,252 out of line item 206-000-960.00 out of education and training, is that what's called that?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
For the airway training mannequins.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have fire CPR instructing class for Carr, Rose, and Matthews. And it's for $1,200 under line 960 for training. And that will make everybody certified to teach CPR, right?
Correct. That'll give us 3 more instructors, so we'll have probably a total of 6 or 7 instructors. I've been getting a lot of requests from the school to do about 90 kids, and you have to have so many instructors per student, so that will help us out. And the other time is if we get people that need certifications, and those instructors that I have now aren't available, I'm there every day, so I can help them out to get their certifications, along with the other officers.
I think more classes, more CPR classes we can do, the better.
It's great.
And we'll meet at the fire department and take a township vehicle up to their education center.
Okay, where's that at?
That's going to be up in Fort Gratiot.
Oh, okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the CPR instructor class for personnel Rose, Carr, and Matthews. $400 per person for a total of $1,200 from line 206-960.
Support.
Yeah, motion and support. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thank
For
you.
both.
Okay, next we have HITA request list of concerns from 1/15/24. You're recused, right, Maureen?
No, I've resigned from HITA, so I can now vote and discuss.
Okay, you don't work for HITA anymore?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right. Back at the last meeting, they asked for funding from our board, and then they ended up withdrawing the letter, and the motion, we told them we'd give them information that we desired to, they provide us. I took it upon myself to send them a letter from me, what we needed to do, what they needed to do, and and I did say in the letter there'll be more information coming forth from input from the rest of the board. I sent them a letter basically stating that the board, under their articles of incorporation, it says the board, HITA board, shall furnish an annual report to our board with respect to operation, maintenance, and financial condition of the authority. And we've never gotten one from day one. Years past, I did ask for that, and we never did receive that. And so my letter, I reminded them of that. And I also thought it'd be nice if we got a copy of the new audit and either their current budget or the proposed budget in '24. I'm not even sure what fiscal, what's their fiscal year. If it's calendar year or July to June, I'm not sure what it is, but and just report on the expenditures that they've been making.
So
I didn't get an answer at all.
this letter that you have in front of you is the compiled list from everyone's input as far as questions.
Yeah. You want to do a synopsis, Cindy, or?
Well, I think it's safe to say that at our last meeting, there were some concerns about what HITA was reporting and potentially not reporting. And we all had a list of questions that couldn't seem to get answered at that meeting, understandably so. So it was suggested that we compile a list of some of our concerns, if I remember correctly, and I believe that's what we have in front of us, is some of the questions that we would like answered as a result of our last board meeting. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
So today is, if the board's going to approve sending it to HITA.
Correct.
So I guess we should get a motion first. To approve this letter. Then we can talk about it a little more.
I'll make a motion to approve the HITA request list of concerns from 1/15/24.
Support.
Okay, motion and support. I'll open it up for discussion.
Well, it's a 4-page letter, and I mean, I asked Cindy for this. She said it was still being discussed, so, you know, there's a lot of information here. I think at any time that the HITA board would have been open to answering any questions. You know, and I agree with Paul that I felt like Skip was ambushed there and humiliated, and I was embarrassed at how the board treated him.
To be all fairness on that, I went to the HITA meeting. It was held 3-4 days before our last meeting. And in public comments, I got up and asked if I could address them about their request. And I was denied. So I went to that meeting, asked public comments, can we discuss this?
It's a lie.
You know, and
Was I not at that
No,
meeting?
you were there, it's a lie. Just like
I was.
we're allowed to ask questions, you're not supposed to give
We're
answers.
in order, right, but
I don't remember that. I think I was at that meeting. I
No,
don't
you
remember you
weren't.
getting up there and asking.
But
That
I
would
did,
be a meeting after, because that was just a
I-
meeting, a special meeting it was called.
I did ask if it was going to be discussed, and
And you talk about the
it
audit.
wasn't.
You talk about the audit. They shared with me before I resigned. They had been working with UHY, giving them all kinds of information. On January 12th, they received information that now they couldn't be audited as they were the year before, and it was going to cost double. And I mean, this is less than a month ago, and you're expecting an audit now. Your audit took over 6 months, and you're saying, oh, they haven't gotten their audit done. You know, all these things that you guys tried to make the board look incompetent. I mean, I went through the video
When did we,
and looked at all the things that were said, and it was deplorable
November,
that,
I believe that their treasurer was out of town.
we talked about with our auditors, it was in November, about, they brought it to our attention about HITA, and they basically said, we recommend that HITA become separate from
well,
our
I don't
audit.
think you didn't talk to anybody about it. I know that Gary was out of town for 2 weeks, and he's the treasurer. But if it was November, the first they heard about it was January 12th.
Well, I can't help that.
Well, that is your job,
No.
or UHY's
We-
job to contact them.
Right, we communicated to UHY, it was sometime in November, I don't know the exact date, that they said, well, they recommend to us that they pull HITA out of the township's audit.
Well, I
So we
find
went with
that,
their recommendation.
I find that hard to believe that they recommended that to you in November, you agreed to it, and they waited till January 12th to send something. You know, and of course, this conveniently, is that the reason that makes them unqualified for any of the funding of the ARPA funds?
No.
No,
Why do they not qualify for the ARPA funds? I don't understand that.
Because they're not a general government service of Clay Township.
It's a government entity.
but not Clay Township.
It has to be used
Harsens
for Clay
Island's not Clay
Township
Township?
general services.
We can only spend ARPA money on general services of Clay Township.
Harsens
Fire,
Island.
police, not
Well,
geographic.
a band show counts for,
It does.
all right, I guess that's more important. I mean, it's safety.
Regardless, we're kind of getting in the weeds. This is about following up with a request from Skip.
Yep, because we made
Yeah.
it, in the motion, we said the board would inform them of what kind of information that we would like, we would like to see from them for support.
Well, I mean, I think you should communicate with them. I'm all for sending them a letter.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sure. But I think it would have been a good thing to do before you know, humiliated them publicly.
And lie.
So what is it we're going to vote on here?
Sending this letter to them. Like normally, I think the board would just send a letter, but they're gonna make a big deal out of it and get everybody to
Well,
approve.
this letter-
And again, say, we need this information from HITA because they're so incompetent. They can't just send the letter, so we gotta
Well,
vote on
the
it.
proper procedure is to, if the board is going to send a letter for the whole board, the board has to approve it.
You send letters all the time. You could
From-
have sent a just
from-
letter
from
from
the
you and Cindy
supervisor.
or whatever. You could have done that.
from the supervisor, but
Didn't have to be from the whole
The-
board.
that was the motion.
All right.
So we do things, we try to do things properly as we can. So what was your question, Mark?
So you're just asking, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mark.
What exactly are we voting on here?
Sending in this letter.
Okay, I see the letter, what about this stuff?
This
Is
is,
that attached to the letter?
yes,
Okay, so, again, what is it exactly, what are we voting on here? I see a bunch of Exhibit A, but what does that mean? Your grant reporting, what does that mean? How about an explanation for some of this stuff as we go through it, and make sure they got enough information, and if there's something left out, we may be able to detect it if somebody goes through this. And so apparently they haven't seen this yet.
no,
Well, we shouldn't vote on it until they take a look at it.
well, we're voting on sending it to them so they can take a look
It's a
at it.
highly unusual thing, I know, Mark. We don't usually vote
Yeah,
on
it is.
sending
It is
letters to
very
people.
unusual. I mean, I have no idea if this is comprehensive with them. They're gonna get it back, send it back. I don't know.
I mean, they're not really questions.
Anybody sat down with a meeting with these guys and say, here's what we're gonna do and here's what we're gonna present to the board to get it approved? Period.
Well, that's been hard to do.
No, it's not.
Dennis, has it been hard to do?
No. Every email is answered instantaneously.
I beg to differ.
Well, we get blind copied on it, so just be
I just
careful.
don't wanna keep going down the road with the same thing. Let's get it done, see it delivered and done with.
That's
I
why
mean,
we're
what are
gonna
you
send
asking
this
them?
letter.
They're not questions. What do you want them to respond to this? When you say the Exhibit A budget was amended on March 20th, 23 to reflect, and you put this information, where is the questions here? What are the questions? What is it? I don't understand what you're asking. I mean,
That's my
they
question.
wanted, when Skip was here, you said, do you want us to give you some guidance and, you know, on what you should be doing? I don't see that this is telling them what to do. You're asking for them to provide the grant amendment to you, but that's not something that you talked about in the meeting, or,
That's concerns that was from board members brought to us. Now, as far as communication, the meeting was January 15th. I wrote them a letter January 18th with concerns. You know, I mean, point blank about them reporting to us per their own articles of incorporation. That was January 18th. And they said, well, you know, they communicate back with us right away. I still haven't received an answer or even an acknowledgement of this letter.
I just don't know what you're asking, you know. I mean,
This is
you're giving them some guidance, but there's certain things you want to know, certain things you don't. I'm sure they'll contact you
Yeah,
if they have questions. So send a letter and see what they say.
that's what we're trying to do. Okay?
Okay.
Do we have a motion yet?
Motion and support.
And support to send an attached letter to HITA. Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, I'm going to do a roll call.
You want me to do a roll call?
Yeah.
Chris O'Regan.
Yes.
Christie Hilton.
Yes.
Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Mark Burchard.
Yes.
Maureen Boyd.
Of course, yes, send a letter.
John DeBoyer.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, next we have two HITA appointments. And I know everyone says, oh, this is a conflict of interest with Artie Bryson, and he shouldn't be doing this, and so forth and so on. But, you know, this isn't a Clay Township rule. It's not a Clay Township rule. It's not an Artie Bryson rule. It's a HITA's own rule that the Clay Township supervisor shall appoint, and then this board approves. Shall, must. So if I didn't do my job, there wouldn't be anybody on the board at all. So I didn't make the rules up. I don't like being in a position, but it states I must. So, again, I'd like to recommend the Clay Township Board that it confirms Kevin Garrity to become board member of the Harsens Island Transportation Authority. And you want me to read the whole thing, or? Kevin's been attending many of the HITA meetings over the past year, and he's interested in supporting the HITA's mission as outlined on the website. He believes all Harsens Island residents deserves a safe, reliable, affordable transportation to the island. Kevin has spent his career in information technology and has worked for both large and small companies. His current employer is Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. As a territory manager, he's responsible for supporting customer base and managing new business opportunities. He's been serving on Oakland Hills Country Club and other volunteers things. He spent many years as a youth hockey coach and team manager, and was the assistant athletic director of baseball coach in St. Joe's School in Lake Orion. Kevin is eager to contribute his time and skill set supporting Harsens Island community, and wants to ensure that HITA achieves its mission and benefit for all island residents.
Is he here?
I don't think so.
No, he doesn't live in Harsens Island. You have to be a resident too, or that, by bylaws.
I think he lives on North Channel.
He lives on Harsens.
No, he has a cottage.
He lives on North Channel Drive, right?
Yeah, cottage.
Oh, he has a cottage, he's not a resident.
He lives there for Oakland County.
I don't believe that there's any of that in their bylaws.
Same with property, you know. I mean, that's, you guys can.
The bylaws
It's
say-
all gonna come out anyhow, so.
The bylaws say they have to have residency.
No,
No, they don't.
own property.
So you're basically just reading his letter. And I want to just let this board know, okay, you guys haven't been attending the meetings, Artie has. Kevin and Bob, both of these men have been very disruptive at the meetings. They live on North Channel. They are worried about their own property, their own self. He does not want this mission to succeed. He wants to make sure it doesn't interrupt or affect his personal property on North Channel Drive, both of these gentlemen. So I want to ask you, I see, you know, I was going to ask you, why do you want to appoint him? And what are both of their credentials? But obviously they've written a letter and been coached that they want to ensure that HITA achieves their mission. They have both spoke out against HITA, wanting to know where the property it is, repeatedly. They have sent emails, they have asked the same question over and over and over again. Where is the property that you're planning to put the ferry on, HITA? The person who sold the property on an option does not want to be harassed. A non-disclosure agreement was signed, and the HITA board could not release that information. But
So
they would not stop asking.
So asking questions of HITA isn't speaking against HITA, it's asking questions of
Oh,
HITA.
well, no, it's not. They have said HITA is incapable, they don't have a business plan, they are not going to be able to do this. They have said plenty of things that prove that they believe it's not a good organization.
So how would he be affected by HITA?
He would be affected because he's concerned, of course, it's going to be on North Channel. You know, in order to get over, you can't put a ferry on South Channel, how are you going to get to it? So the landing is going to be on North Channel. Both of these gentlemen live on North Channel, and they want to sabotage this. And, you know, Artie, you say you've got to do this or nothing's going to happen, but you're elected to do what's right for the people.
That's right.
These two gentlemen are only interested in what is for them. They're not interested in the community and HITA's mission. They want to make sure that landing is not in their backyard. That's their mission. So how many other people, you know, we know that Skip has been on the board for 4 years. He's also on the planning commission. He wants to serve again. We know Paul Cassidy. You appointed Paul Cassidy also. He wants to serve again. Are they getting a little too far? Are they getting a little bit too successful that you've got to send these gentlemen in who don't want HITA to succeed to protect your family's business? Is that where we're going with this? Because there's
They're out of order.
no, there's no more conflict of interest abuse than this. And if this board votes for it, knowing that that's what these gentlemen's, what their goal is and what
Did
their
they
reason for
tell you
serving,
that?
we know that's
Did
what.
they tell you that?
No.
Well, it's common sense. No, they did not tell me this. But they have spoke out of the meetings, they've been
You put
disrespectful.
yourself in a very curious situation,
It's
putting
my
words in their
opinion.
mouth
It's my
and understanding
opinion.
what their agendas are.
I'm saying it's my opinion. They've been disruptive at the meetings. They've
Okay,
been-
you didn't say it was your opinion,
They-
so that's
well, I'm-
different.
I'm-
That's
I've
qualified.
watched the meetings,
That's a
the
qualifier.
recordings of the meetings, the entire meeting is disruptive.
It's in the HITA meetings, the minute meetings, if you read it, which we can provide to you. You don't have to
This
make
is
a
board
decision on this
discussion,
tonight.
Dennis, you know that.
I
It's
understand
disrespect, they've been disrespectful,
Everybody's going
they've been
through.
disruptive. There's no reason why Paul Cassidy and Skip Torno should not be able to continue to serve. What is your reason for not reappointing them and appointing these gentlemen? Explain that to me, Artie.
Is there supposed to be an audit every year from HITA?
Yes.
Has there been?
There's one audit last year.
The year before, there was an audit because we include them
The
in,
year before?
In
What
Clay
about the
Township.
year before
There was
that?
no money.
there was no audit
So
then
you-
forever.
Okay. How
Yeah,
about a
it's not
budget? Has a
last
budget
year,
been
yeah.
passed?
What?
Has a budget been passed in years past?
Not in years past.
Okay, so do the bylaws say that that budget should be passed and there should be an audit?
Yeah.
So has this board lived up to its obligations?
Budget was just passed.
The budget has been passed. Yeah, the
For
budget was passed at
24.
the last meeting.
For 24.
You know,
one
this
year
is a,
before
this,
that?
this is a
Maureen's
board,
question
Was
about
there
why
one year before that?
You're-
Art, can you shut him up?
you're disrupting,
Shut him up.
you're disrupting my question to Artie.
The board has not lived up to their obligations.
Oh, thank you, John, for stepping in to
No,
say,
it's the truth.
Okay, so
And-
you said that these
It's
guys,
a all
you said
volunteer
that these
board.
guys are against HITA succeeding.
they are,
What is
in my
the
opinion.
definition of HITA succeeding? Can you tell me that?
Yes, coming to fruition with their goal, their mission is to provide, and they were established by this board in 1997. Of course,
fully
Artie
aware of
wasn't
that.
on the board.
Fully aware of that.
And what their goal and what they were entirely established to do was to provide alternative transportation. Don't shake your head.
No, that's not true.
Well, here, let me read what it is.
Alternative transportation?
Yes.
Alternative to what?
Alternative transportation to what we have now.
That's not true.
Well, let me pull it up.
I know. We should have the class.
I have to pull it up. I got it right now.
So, the board has not been living up to its obligations. And when you,
You haven't asked them
when,
until now whether.
will you let me speak, Maureen?
Go ahead.
You haven't answered a question.
I am, right now.
Cassidy,
Let me speak. The board has not lived up to its obligations, even set forth in their own rules and bylaws. Now, they were gifted $250,000 to do a feasibility study for a bridge, a MEDC grant. And that's the nature of the grant, to do a feasibility study for a bridge. When you spend public money, there's a higher bar, rightfully so, there's a higher bar set for transparency and doing things right, processes and procedures. They don't follow the right processes and procedures.
That's not true.
Well, you let me speak, Maureen.
It's not true.
Do they approve all their expenses before they expend
All their
money?
expenses have been
I
approved.
would argue differently.
And they don't approve
do-
checks like you do at each meeting, but at the last meeting, they looked at every check and approved it. But they have people, their whole feasibility study was approved. I watched the whole thing
So-
happen.
One concern is they have a grant from the MEDC. The nature of the grant is very specific. It's for a feasibility study for a bridge.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That's what it says
It's for,
right in the
they
contract.
have, and I've seen it, they have permission to explore all options, not just the bridge. So they have permission to explore what's going to be the best and the most feasible, including the bridge and the others. So they have done what they needed to do there. You're asking for that information in a letter that you want to
Right.
send them.
Right.
So don't say they haven't done it, because they've done it.
Quit yelling. I'm sorry.
I'm very passionate that you're going to use your powers and misuse them and appoint these two gentlemen who are only interested in themselves. But that's how I feel about you. You're only interested in yourself and your family's business. And the HITA is getting too close, so now you got to put them under a microscope. You haven't asked since 1997 for a budget or an audit or anything. But they're getting a little too close, aren't they?
Actually,
They're almost going to actually put up another ferry system to compete
Actually,
with your family.
I asked for a budget and audit and minutes, 2012 and 13.
It was 13, I had copies.
Right along.
You did it in 13 because you were trying to dissolve them
No, I
when you first
wasn't.
got
Don't
in
tell me what I
office.
was trying to do.
Well, in my opinion, you send a letter to an attorney asking him those questions. And
Let's start with facts now.
those are facts. The facts are right on the HITA website. The letter from the attorney is right on the website, the questions you ask. You know, what can I do to do this? It's right on there.
Yeah, I
So
know.
there's no,
And
if
it's out of
there's,
context, but let's get, okay.
just let the people running it, who have the experience, who have been involved in it, continue to run it. Don't put these two gentlemen who are disruptive, and in my opinion, have their own interest.
Maureen,
That's
would you
it.
like to be on the board?
I can't be on the board, because I'm on this board. Yeah, I'll be on it, but I can't. It's not allowed. I want Skip to continue. You obviously trust Skip. You've got him on the planning commission. And Paul Cassidy, he was a judge. I mean, how much more competent can you be? He's a retired judge. He's a prosecuting attorney for Macomb County. You think that Kevin Garrity and Bob Reno are more qualified than him? I don't get it. The only thing I can see is it's being someone sent in to disrupt their progress. Reappoint the people who've been in place.
HarsensIslandTransferAuthority.org, everything's there. Everything's there.
Artie, what is our timeline for appointments?
They are up in March 1.
March 1?
March 1. The current terms are up in March 1. Historically, we always did it in our first meeting in February.
Okay.
Like I said, you haven't asked her any of this information. They're getting too far, and you want to put the stop on it right now. Because it's your family that they're going to compete with.
We had a little lack of transparency here as far as I'm concerned with the appointments. It was never related to me that those two people that are on the board already were going to be replaced with the two great people.
I sent an email to you, Mark.
No,
Yes, I did.
We didn't get to interview anyone. Why?
Well, you
Just
said
like
they
when
were
John was
supposed to
brought
say,
in.
Yeah,
Is there something they did?
I sent you an email, and it was, you included it, right?
Yes, I also sent out an email.
It was included.
You put it on social media also like it was a vacancy. You said there's a vacancy on the ZBA and there's reappointments on HITA. What it makes it look like you need new people. You didn't say the current people want to serve, but I'm going to replace them. Just like we didn't get, none of the board got any other applications, like when John was appointed. When John was appointed, he doesn't have to, but isn't that the best way?
Well,
Isn't that
you
the best
could
way to let
interpret
the
that
board-
way. You could interpret it however you want.
Wouldn't the board, in order to make a good decision,
point.
have all of the applications of people who wanted to serve?
So anyhow, get back, because of my responsibility that HITA sets forth, I'm recommending that we put Kevin Garrity on the HITA board. And it's up to this board to either confirm or reject.
And I'm just gonna say,
Are you gonna do both of them together?
Excuse me?
Are you gonna do both of these together?
Yeah, I'll do both
and
together.
let me just,
And Robert Reno,
Is that your motion?
yeah. So it's up to the board to either accept, confirm, or deny.
Did the other people respond and say they still wanted to remain on the board?
Yeah, what happens, and I thought we sent that email out, I didn't hear anything from them. And
they both responded to you saying they wanted to be reappointed.
I didn't hear anything from them.
I saw the
Would you
emails.
let me talk?
Why did you say you didn't hear from them?
I did not hear from them, so I took it upon myself to send an email thanking them for their service, and if they would want to,
Paul Cassidy was here at a meeting speaking.
would you let me talk?
It's not
I'm
true.
getting tired of this. Will
It's
you
not true, Marty.
quit interrupting me?
All right.
It's true.
It's not true. Paul Cassidy stood on that podium
Yes.
less than 2 months ago and said, I wish to be reappointed. Skip, last week, on January 15th, last meeting, stood up there and said, I want to serve, but I'm sure you're not going to reappoint me. So don't say you haven't heard from them. So they were going to email you, but you sent them an
Would you
email.
let me finish?
Go ahead.
Please.
I can't stand the line.
Please.
I can't stand it.
So I sent them an email thanking them for their service and asking them if they were going to remain on the board or wish to remain on the board or not. Skip replied to me within a day, and he said yes. And then Paul Cassie, I think it took about a week, and he said he would like to remain on the board.
But they also said it at meetings.
Okay,
So,
I'm answering
don't-
Mark's question, Maureen.
But
I'm answering Mark's question.
But you made it sound like they didn't contact you, so you took it upon
I did
yourself to
contact them.
them. But they did let you know they wanted to be
Okay,
reappointed.
point well taken. That was Mark's question. Thanks for answering it for me.
I'm just gonna say one more thing. You know how I feel about the additional duty money and the voting here. You all make 40 to 45,000 salary, but you each get an exact amount of additional duty money, $39,680.
Maureen, we make $78,000 a year.
Well, you should put it on salary. When we did budget,
Whoa,
I said,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
We are way off.
Yeah.
no, I'm
Yes,
gonna,
we are.
I'm
We are way
gonna
off
say, I'm not off topic. I'm gonna say
Come on.
that additional,
Let's focus on what we're doing.
you know what we're doing? We're voting. And what have I
I
said
don't know that I'm
from,
ready to vote.
what have I said from the beginning of time with this additional duty money? That it causes the clerk, the treasurer, and the supervisor to stick together, in my opinion, and vote. I said, I'll pay you $78,000 on a salary, but you don't want to report that to MTA that you make that much. So you've got this additional money of $39,000. And if you all don't stick together, maybe you're not going to get your additional duty money. So I'm going to watch very closely at how this board votes.
Again, please, give me 3
That's-
minutes for going off topic. The reason we separate the salary into statutory and non-statutory, by state law, you cannot reduce the statutory salary of elected officials. But the non-statutory, you can. So if this board doesn't like the job I'm doing, you can take all that non-statutory salary away. It gives the board more control.
Why are we discussing this?
I don't know.
Because it's-
she's just trying to make us
You
look
can
bad.
say it gives them more control,
This is
I say it buys votes.
Okay,
I
fine.
say it
Okay,
buys
you made your
votes.
point. You made your point.
It buys votes, that's what it does.
Okay, I don't know how, but you made your point.
You've already been.
Okay,
what is
made
it,
your
for
point.
3
Would you-
out of 4 years. One more year, you're gonna continue to do your job. I said I would trust you. Let's put it in a salary. Let's not make it additional duty money. And you wouldn't do it. And I don't know why.
Because it gives the
I
board,
believe you guys are
it
gonna do
gives
your
the
job.
board less
You've been doing your job for all these
control
years.
over
I know
the
you're gonna
elected
do it.
officials.
Well,
Here's the proof that HITA does the correct job from your
Okay,
own stuff here.
We have,
we have,
you have a motion, you don't have support.
motion and support.
do we have support?
I don't, do we have support?
That's what I'm asking.
Huh?
Yes, we do.
We have
No,
support.
no.
There's no support. Nobody supported it.
There's no, who made the motion?
Already.
Artie made it, of course.
There hasn't been support.
Okay.
Yeah. Artie, you shouldn't be making it because he has conflict of interest with his
If there-
family.
There's
Yeah,
no support.
Maureen was called into conflict of interest, but not you, Artie.
Sit down, please.
You heard what I said, though. You're
Sit down, please.
Reappoint the people in place. Please.
So,
Do the right thing.
would you let me speak, please? So we have a motion that I brought these two gentlemen up, and there's no support. So it dies. If there's no support. If there's support, we can continue to talk about it.
Well, I'll support it,
Okay, we have support.
and now we'll talk, all right?
Now we'll talk.
So you guys know that I like to follow up
Yep.
on our appointees and certainly our hires, right? I was recently giving contact information to both Mr. Reno and Mr. Garrity. I was unable to establish contact. So from trustee O'Regan's position, right, I haven't vetted them. Now, I know this is your responsibility to appoint, but you want our approval.
Yes,
And in order for me to give you my approval, I have to meet them. I have to
Okay.
talk with them. I have to at least vet them for my own interest.
that's fair.
So I would request a 2-week postponement of this HITA appointment. Let's put it on the next board meeting, and I'm confident that my requirements from these two gentlemen, at least from a vetting perspective, would be completed. So I'll be able to accurately vote yea or nay at that point. That's from my perspective.
Okay.
How would you even get in touch with them? Artie didn't give us their phone number or emails.
Any
And you
other-
said you attempted to reach them.
and-
How did you get the information on how to reach them?
Maureen, these are public packets, right? So there were certain things that are contact information that you could research and get a hold of people. But I don't think that, you know,
I don't know.
your address, your phone number, and are going to go out on public information, right? So,
Well, I mean, I wasn't able to contact them,
nor was I.
but I mean, I've seen them at the meetings.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
You should see them at the meetings. They
Maureen, I've been to
do
2 of those
not,
meetings.
they
and
do
I've
not
seen
want
them.
HITA
Would you
to.
let people talk?
I've been to 2 of those meetings.
I was trying
And I
to
have
find
seen
out.
them, but I haven't had personal conversations with them, nor do I know their interest in the HITA board.
Well, you
So
know, they
I'm
live on the
asking for
North
a
Channel, they're
2-week
interested in
reprieve.
themselves.
Would
I want this back on the agenda from my own perspective.
So you
Our
want...
next meeting Tuesday.
You're suggesting we postpone?
I'm proposing, yes, that's what my
Okay.
suggestion is.
Anybody else?
To just make a comment?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to make a comment. My vote is not bought because I do my job in that office every day. Anytime you ever come here, I am doing my job. All of our reporting is done. I hate that insinuation that you continuously make.
I never said
For
that you
7
didn't do your
years,
job. I said,
have
I want to
worked
give
in this
you,
township, and I do not take orders from him on how to vote. I have reviewed every minute that is posted on the website, and I have watched every meeting that is recorded. I have watched the disturbances that happen throughout the entire meeting. It is not just these 2 individuals. There are many people that disturb those meetings. I have watched the conduct of the board, and I am dissatisfied with the current board members that are up for reappointment.
Paul Cassidy has never been, he has never acted
I
Wrong
watched him
and-
interact
It's
with
their
someone
opinion,
making a
it's not
public
arguing.
comment about paying his taxes or whatever when he spoke against the millage. I watched people talk to each other quietly behind sheets of paper. I watched minutes get approved this last meeting from 2 years ago. I read in minutes today that Harold Bain requested for all of the board members to sign non-disclosures. That's in your minutes, or in HITA's minutes.
The board members already all did sign non-disclosures.
Is that legal? Non-disclosures
Regarding
for
the
what?
property.
It
Regarding
didn't
the
say
property.
anything in the minutes about property. It wasn't anywhere near where the property comes into play in the minutes. It was
That's
just
not
Harold
about-
requesting.
that's
I'll
not
pull the minutes and we can put them on the website or wherever. I just tried to go on my phone, but I can't get service to find them. I just read it
Well, I do
today.
not believe that
When I was
Kevin Garrity and
reviewing
Bob
all the
Reno.
minutes for why I'm dissatisfied with the people that are up for reappointment.
Well, I don't think Bob Reno and Kevin Garrity are gonna have any knowledge, they don't have any knowledge of how to do meetings.
How do you know what their knowledge is? Have you talked to them personally?
They
one-on-one?
can't have more knowledge than a retired judge and a,
How do you know?
well, it's not possible. It's clear.
It is possible.
It's clear what is trying to be done here, and the people know, Artie, and if they see this board, they're gonna know this is a yes board, which is what our board is always accused of. Everybody just votes for whatever Artie says. And if that's gonna happen again, it's gonna be very transparent to the people.
Okay.
So think about it. You can all
This
smile
is
at
a
me
business
with that little
meeting.
smirk.
Think about what you're
Because
saying.
I just got done telling you that I do not take orders from Artie, and you just said it again.
Well, it's a very much what Artie wants, Artie gets kind of board.
No, this is
how
a
this
board
is.
where the things that come on the packet are up for business meeting to keep this township going.
And I never said you didn't do a great job, Christie. You do an amazing job. And I want to give you
You
your
said I bought
salary.
and paid for. You're saying
I
that
said
I
the
do
votes.
whatever he says.
I say you should not be getting $39,000 in additional duty money. You should not be able to vote to raise your own pay on additional duty money. It should be a salary, and that's, I feel very strongly about that.
And I understand what you say over and over and over again about that, but there are reasons for that. So if I decide not, if I have a salary of $78,000 and I decide I'm not coming to any more meetings and I'm not doing anything, you can't lower that.
Well, you know
We
what?
have to pay.
I trust you.
So I just sit at home
I
and collect
believe
a
you're-
check.
I believe you're a bigger pillar of the community than that, Christie, and I
Right.
believe Cindy is
But
too.
that is not
So you
just
don't
for
need to
us,
have
it's
additional
for,
duty money.
it's because
It's
of what
happened twice.
happened prior to us being here.
Well, you're not those people. You have better character
You're right,
than
I'm
that.
not those people.
You have much better character than that. You don't need it to be on the side. Have it reported as it should be.
So I don't know how we got into salaries, but,
Because we're all bought, our votes are bought.
yeah, oh, that's right, your votes are bought.
You have to vote on getting that money.
So,
So it stands that you have motion and support, and then there was lots of discussion.
yep,
That's where we stand.
yep.
So it's really up to you if you're gonna take this to a vote.
Well, we can take it to a vote. If it fails, then we can bring it back on the next meeting in February if the board wishes.
It's up to you, you're steering.
Well, I'm going to do a roll call vote for the motion as it is. And if it's denied, then we'll press on. So
We'll press on to get different people.
we'll press on.
What does that mean?
We'll postpone.
So if we don't vote for them this time, we'll
Well,
do it again, we'll vote for it
why don't we
next
just
time.
see where the vote goes.
Chris actually made a motion.
No, I made a
Didn't
motion,
record
no,
it Or rewind it.
There is a motion on the floor that has to be voted on before you can make another motion.
right.
I don't know why we don't put all four of them on there and then vote on each individual, instead of just picking
Because Artie
picking two
appoints.
people out, and let's go for them or not. Let's get all four of them on the ballot.
Artie appoints. Artie's not gonna appoint those two guys.
Okay, so we have the motion to appoint or to confirm Kevin Garrity and Bob Reno to the HITA board. Roll call vote, please.
John DeBoyer,
Yes.
Maureen Bory,
No.
Mark Burchard,
No.
Artie Bryson,
Yes.
Christie Hilton,
No.
Crystal Regan,
No.
Cindy Valentine, no, doesn't matter.
Okay. All right, I make a motion that we postpone the appointment to our next meeting on, whatever, what would it be in February?
Tuesday, February 20th.
February 20th.
Support.
Okay, we've got a motion to postpone the appointments to February 20th, and that would give people ample time on the board if they want to reach out to these people and vet them a little bit, and to see if they are what actually Maureen is saying, or to see if they are generally interested in serving on HITA for the good of the island.
They both live on the North Channel. That's
So,
what their
would
interest
you-
is.
And I would like to include the current members that are on there as well, that you were going to replace.
Artie's not gonna
Reach
do
out to
that.
them as well.
Well, okay,
And,
I'll give you their contact info.
well, I got your contact.
Okay, then you can reach out. This is giving the board a chance to reach out to them, so you can get your own opinions.
But their names are not gonna be on the appointments, so you won't
And
be able to
Vote for them.
go for them. Is that motion, and do we have motion support?
Motion and support to postpone until February 20th.
Okay. Want to do a roll call?
I want new names.
Maureen Bory,
I want new names, no. I'm not postponing and voting for these guys again, no.
Next.
Mark Burchard,
Yes.
Artie Bryson,
Yes.
Christie Hilton,
Yes.
Crystal Regan.
Yes.
Cindy Valentine, yes. John DeBoyer,
No.
Okay, motion carries that we postpone it to the 20th of February. All right, is that our next meeting?
It's a Tuesday, huh?
It's the 19th, right? 5 plus 14 is 19.
actually, we were going to discuss the next meeting because I have early voting in here from
Yeah.
the 17th to the 25th.
So we can't be in here,
It's over at 4, right?
but the equipment's here.
Yes, I'll have 9 days of early voting, equipment, paperwork, computers.
And they have a meeting on the island?
Well, they have the same thing. No.
Early voting's not on the island, we could have the meeting
Well,
there.
I can see how much it is to move around. I mean, don't be surprised if it's canceled. If
Okay.
I can get the stuff out of here, then
All right, see what the protocol is.
There's no reason why not to move to the
Okay.
island, right? Isn't that a good option?
All right,
Oh, you
so
want the support of the island, oh, let's not have it there. Might be too many people that show up.
this is the Township Hall.
Why can't we have it on the island? We have other meetings on the island. Why would that be a problem?
Would you please stay in order?
I'm
trying to
asking a
conduct-
question.
okay.
Why can't we have the meeting over there if we can't have it here? Why can't?
Because it's publicized that we're having it here.
Well, we can publicize it's gonna be there. You got 2 weeks. You don't want island supporters there.
Anyhow, we're not even talking about it. We voted and it's postponed.
We didn't vote to postpone the meeting.
Yes.
Cindy said she's gonna see if she can move things around.
Did we not vote to postpone?
We both
Postpone the
postponed the
appointment.
The HITA appointments.
but not the meeting.
Right, we're not even talking about that right now.
She said we might not be able to have the meeting on the 19th or the 20th
I-
because of early voting. I said, let's have the meeting on the island. You don't even want to entertain it, and I want to
Board
know
member
why.
comments.
That's right.
Supervisor?
We're at board member comments,
Oh,
right?
so you're going to ignore my question?
Mark, do you have board member comments?
I'll have them at the next meeting.
Okay. Maureen?
I'm just very disappointed. You were elected to do the right thing for the people, and I don't understand. I mean, why you want to appoint these two men and why you won't even consider having a meeting on the island. I'm just very disappointed. That's all I have to say. Congratulations to Sherry on the ZBA.
Thank you.
John?
So first off, I'd like to just give my condolences to you and your family, Artie, in the loss of your brother. It's a tough thing to go through.
Yep.
Secondly, Maureen, you know, you've went on, since I've been on this board, about attacks and disrespect to you from board members. I think you should heed your own advice, because that was kind of embarrassing tonight, to be honest with you.
Has to be said,
Thirdly,
John.
well, you can say what you want, but it's how you say it, okay? You're entitled to your opinions, that's fine, but you attacked tonight, and that was
I think she was
embarrassing.
fine.
Yeah, whatever. Thirdly, I know you guys touched on it at the last meeting, I wasn't here. We had an incident in Clay Township where a officer of the court was killed. Clay Township Police Department responded to that, and by all accounts, they did a fantastic job.
Very good.
And I just wanted to say, both to our dispatch center and our police department, good job. And that's what we want you guys to do when you handle it awesome professionally. That's all.
Okay. Cindy?
I'm all set.
Chris, got a PSA for us?
Yeah, I'll make it brief. Cyanobacteria, right? It's a photosynthetic bacteria that seems to grow prevalent in our area. It happens to about, I don't know, Mike Jones's poll is like 1 out of every 25, 30 houses. And it's this red slime that occurs in people's drainage systems around their house, and it can clog pipes, much like an artery can be clogged. It's a big deal this time of year because there's a tremendous amount of groundwater, and it rapidly grows. It's a growing, living bacteria. So I found a company that's willing to, what they do is they actually clean out all of your drain lines. So I'm personally on septic, and they were able to clean out not only my sump lines, but also my septic lines. And these grow vertically and horizontally. So if you're having issues with groundwater infiltration and your pumps just can't seem to keep up or get rid of it, then feel free to reach out to me, because I know way too much about this stuff. It's a real pain, and it affects really a small percentage of us, but it's prevalent in Clay Township. There's a lot of it, and it's identified by this red bacteria. It's like red slime. If you touch it, you'll get red on you. It looks like a rust color. So if you're having issues, please look me up through our website, and I'd like to take you through some solutions that I found.
Okay. Christie?
Just a reminder that winter tax and summer tax, if you haven't paid it, are due on February 14th, which is a week from this Wednesday. The last day to pay tax in Clay Township is February 29th.
Okay. And I would like to, well, just warn people, there's people out on Anchor Bay ice fishing today. Be safe on that ice. There's no safe ice, actually. I was a little nervous. Yesterday, my dog was walking out on the canal on the ice, and I was nervous. And I just want to tell everyone, I did lose my brother, my big brother, Thursday evening, and it was a shock, but I wanted to say thanks for the amount of public concerns and condolences that's coming. It's quite, it was quite amazing, actually, the amount that's coming back to us, and it helps out my family. You know, his wife and sons and my whole family, we're doing as best as it can be expected. You know, we'll get through it and navigate through it. But I just want to say thank you for all the concerns that was expressed to us. So, other than that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks for coming, everybody.